brain's not fully working. How are you?
Good, how are you?
To quote my own complaint, and maybe you've even uttered the same words too, making friends as an adult is hard. We move somewhere new and we think to ourselves, maybe if I go to this yoga class every Tuesday, someone will talk to me. And maybe they will. But this week I felt myself take a little more agency in building the relationships I have already and forging new ones. You know, if I want a village, then I have to be the villager kind of thing. So I sent the risky text to a group of friends that I kinda sorta know. And to my surprise, I got 2 takers. In the end, it just was me and Haley after one girl woke up feeling unwell and couldn't make it anymore. Now, just being the 2 of us, I was a little hesitant. I've never really hung out with Haley, so it was just gonna be us 2 hanging out in the car for 4 hours. My biggest fear with meeting new people is always the what are we gonna talk about factor. But it's something I really need to stop worrying about, because the truth is, 2 people always figure it out. We ended up talking for most of the ride, there and back. There were natural silences, but it was never awkward.
Norman hates having a camera pointed at him.
When we got to skating, it was -6 degrees, and the ice was looking a little bit more snow-covered than we would have liked. But we weaved our way between the snowdrifts and found some good ice. We accidentally timed the trip perfectly, with the sun coming out just for us when we started skating and dipping back below the horizon when we finished our loop.
That would be pretty sweet. Oh, she is.
On the drive home, we pulled over to watch the local sheep scattered across the mountainside, climbing up on boulders, munching on grass, all while golden hour lit everything up around us. And then golden hour slid into the most magical, endless sunset I've literally ever seen. After I dropped Haley off, the pinks turned into reds, and then I pulled into the field to watch the last of the light disappear. So let this be your sign, if you need one. Send the risky text to that group of people you only sorta kinda know. You never know what kind of day you might have.
It's so pretty.
And then the next day, the wind arrived.
Good morning. I'm reporting to you live from an alleyway in Alaska, where it's very windy. Some of the windiest I've ever seen.
85-mile-an-hour gusts for 3 days straight. It was the kind of storm you can't really ignore, you kind of just surrender to inside of your house. It was just me in the apartment, so I kept checking Facebook, which is embarrassing as a Gen Z, but that's just how Alaska communicates. And I was watching people post about whose roof had peeled off, whose power just went out, whose trampoline was in a different zip code. There's something weird about storms like this. You feel totally isolated, can't leave your house. And yet the whole community is going through the exact same thing at the same time. We're all refreshing the same outage map and wondering when the linemen are going to fix the wires and turn the power back on for everyone.
I have no heat or anything, but ultimately I'm not in too bad of a position. If my power's only been off for a few hours, I can definitely see online that a lot of other people have it worse than me right now. I can't turn on my stove, which means I can't really have a hot meal, but I also ate this morning, so it's not really a big deal.
Maybe being the villager isn't always about going out and doing things. Sometimes I think community looks like a bunch of people hunkering down separately, and then it being the topic of conversation every day for the next week, all sharing our experience.
About 10 a.m.
The wind eventually passed, and the power eventually came back on, and life went back to normal. For Mac's birthday, I made her a lemon and raspberry cake with homemade sprinkles, a Northern Lights theme, and the whole thing definitely more elaborate than it needed to be. But that's kind of the point, right? To be loved. She came by to pick it up, we did a mini candle blowing out ceremony in my kitchen, and then she was off to her boyfriend's place with the cake in tow. A tiny celebration, but exactly enough. My personal belief is that no one should ever have to take an Uber to the airport unless they absolutely have to. The airport logistics are the worst part of any trip, and a $75 Uber ride tacked onto an already expensive trip just isn't something I ever want my friends to have to deal with. So we left at midnight for her red eye and had a sleepy, quiet drive there. We did the little goodbye dance at the departure terminal, and that was that. Maybe the cake, the airport, they're not the biggest villager moments ever, but it's still putting in the time and work into the company